Hello, my name is Marcus and welcome to Tabletop Reviews. In today's episode I'm looking at Deadly Desserts. A fun little game that of course came through Kickstarter. But before we talk further about it, let's head to the table and see how it's set up and played. Here we are at the table with Deadly Desserts. Let's get this one set up for 4 players. Now, for each game you have a little sheet which shows you which cards you're gonna need for how many players. So an example of 4 player, everyone with the value of 3 or less will be removed from your deck of cards. Shuffle up the remaining cards and distribute them evenly amongst your players. Then give each player food tokens with a value of 500. And that's about it. That's how you set up the game. Just quickly shuffle it out and distribute it out. You actually have another set of cards here, so the game goes all of the way up to 10 players. Yeah, each deck being enough for 5 players. Pretty insane amount of players there. Now, the aim of the game is to be the last one running out of points. But how do you lose points? Well, that's the value of the cards. Each value, there's value from 1 to 15. We just removed 1, 2 and 3 from the game. So it's 4 to 15. Those are minuses at the end of the game. Except some might give you plus. That depends. Special abilities, right? And simply, the first player will look at his hand and choose any card to play. Any card whatsoever he wants to play. Now, every following player has to follow suit, or as they call it in this one, craving. Because obviously there are 4 different types. It's red, green, blue and purple. Meat, plant, drink and dessert. So every player will follow the starting player, and following suit or craving, either going lower or higher depending on how they want to fuel the strategy. And the player with the highest number will take the set, and he will then lead the next round, playing out a craving. You will continue like this throughout the game until every player has played their cards. Now, luckily this will go hand in hand because you all have the same amount of play cards and you play the same amount every turn. When every card has been played, then you count up your own points and subtract them from your 500. And when you've done that, you have some extra tokens here to lower your total. When you've done that, you reshuffle the card, redeal the cards, go again until someone hits 0. Well, until there's only 1 left with 500. Or you can alternatively just play until one person reaches 0. Thereby there's no winner, but there is a loser. Depends on how you want to do it. But yeah, that's the game. That's all there is to the game. So, let's head back up and talk about it. Here we are. It's been set up, it has been played. Now let's talk about it. First of all, let's talk about the gameplay. It is incredibly simple, which isn't always a bad thing, but for this one, just considering the fact that you could buy a deck of cards, basically, and have the exact same gameplay experience. Yeah. I mean, numbers 1 through 15, ace to king, is almost that. It's 13, so it's only 2 cards less per, and that's 4 cards less. So basically, like, it's not that many less players you can do if you simply buy 2 decks of cards, which is way cheaper. So yeah, this simple, you have to confess to the color or the type or whatever, and whoever wins, and then most amount of points, less amount of points, depending on which game you exactly play. It's such a widespread thing, and it's been done in so much more intriguing way. This game starting with E, but it's like Dictran. That isn't Esther. Oh, I can't remember, but it's actually a pretty good game as well. I can't remember what it's called. Maybe it wasn't that good after all. But it's with the Confessing Con, it's done so well in other games. Even these games you can play with just a deck of cards, there's so many that does it better. That changes it up and does it better than this. So it's really not that good in gameplay. The fact that it takes the simplest thing and just rolls with it. But at least it's easy to learn. It's incredibly easy to learn. You know, the blue has been played. You have to play blue. If you don't have blue, get rid of one of your high number cards. It's very simple to learn. So that's, you know. But one thing that as well goes against it is the points. You have 500 points to get rid of. I can't remember the exact number in the tutorial thing I showed you, but it was less than 100 points. And in this little one I just kind of played through a game, and 2 of the people got all of the cards. I had a 4-player game, obviously. 2 of the people got all the cards. One of them only received minus like 67 or something. You saw it for 2 seconds ago. And that's the few amount of points you can lose in a gameplay. And that person got almost half the points. And that's what you're sitting with here. You need to get rid of 500 points. But you'll be losing less than 100 every time. So you are going to have to play through more than 5, 6, 7 games of this before a winner is finally shown. And that is if one person loses a lot of points every single round. You might have a person lose 80 points one round, 5 points the next round, and you really are going very slow at it. So I definitely think this is more of a one play thing. Ignore the points and just play a game of it. And that's why I say just buy a deck of cards instead. Because really it's not gameplay, it's not compelling gameplay, you might say. It's not something that makes me want to play it again when I can just grab one of my cards, deck of cards, and play something different. That's way better. I'll play the exact same game, but better because it's just one round. So gameplay wise, it's really not awfully good. At least it doesn't do anything for itself. Like it's good gameplay, it's easy gameplay, a fun game. But it's just, it drags on if you follow the rules exactly. And it's just, there's so many other versions of this kind of game that's better. So let's move on to the components. I'm a little bit happier with the components overall. I mean, the tokens are just cardboard punch out tokens, regular stuff. It's nice that it's kind of thick cardboard. It's a little bit thicker cardboard than normally I've seen. So that's a good thing. Cards, however, are actually really nice quality. The rule book is thick, it's not going to break. It's a fold out still. I don't like that, but. And then you have the player aid cards, which are nice and big and gives all the information quite simply to each player. So if you need that kind of stuff, they are really good ones to use for it. Yeah, that's what I have to say about components. It's not something really bad, but it's not going to save it. Does it lie to you? 2 to 10 players, 20 minutes, 7 and up. 7 up. I mean, 7 and up is pretty accurate. Yeah. A 6-year-old might have mind issue. Minor issue. If you go less than 7, it might, you know, be a little bit too complicated, but still, maybe not. So that's absolutely fine. 20 minutes. Again, that depends. If you're going through every round and constantly changing up someone receiving a lot of points, or spreading the points up, it might drag on. But otherwise, yeah, 20 minutes maximum is probably pretty accurate. 2 to 10 players is a fucking lie. Do not play this below 5 people. That's my absolute threshold, is 5 people, and I've played it at 2, 3, 4 more than I've played it above that. It's only above that that it becomes really fun. You have more more of the cards going, especially when you're up at the higher player counts at 6, 7, 8, because then you get both decks of cards in, so there's 2 of them, and that makes you think a bit more. Like the blue 2 has been played once, has been played twice. Did it? I think it did. I'm gonna risk it with this one, or maybe not the blue 2, but like if you're looking at the blue 11, thinking about, is this the lowest card? Do I risk it? Then maybe it's a bit more there. So there it actually becomes a little bit more interesting, a little bit more thinking. But again, I could easily get that with 2 decks of cards. It's not special. I forgot to talk about the artwork, which is lovely, as always. It's lovely, bubbly artwork. It's really what, you know, buys you into a Kickstarter, is the artwork, really. Yeah. But yeah, no, don't play this under 5 players. Really don't. They should have just made more cards and made a really big deck of cards. But no. So the final score I'm going to give this one is a 3 out of 10. Why a 3? So first of all, I'm scoring Monopoly a 2 out of 10. I will talk about Monopoly in a future video. I think this is better than Monopoly, definitely. Yeah. Anyways, but that doesn't matter. The reason I'm scoring it 3 is, as I said, the gameplay itself, while it's not special, it's not different, it's easy and fun. For a simple game, it's fine. As I said, I wouldn't buy this one. This is like 200 Danish krona, like 20-30 bucks. You can get a set of playing cards for like 10 bucks. And that's way more versatile than this is. Right? Because, I mean, I have some playing cards up here for more than 20 bucks. I do collect some of them. But I can use them for way more. Off the top of my head, I can probably mention like 5 games I can use those decks of cards with. This included. So yeah, I'd rather spend my money on a deck of playing cards. But it's perfectly fine. That's why I'm giving it a 3 out of 10. Because it's perfectly fine. Easy and fine. I mean, I wouldn't want to play this specifically over other games, but if someone said, quick round of this, I was like, are we going to count points? No? I'm in. If the points are involved, I'm not. Points can... no. But otherwise, fine, let's play around. Who cares? But am I keeping it? That's the big question. And the answer is no. This is one of the games that have been on my for sale list the absolute longest. I do not want this game in my collection. I do not like it. Well, I do not like it enough to keep it. So therefore, no, it is for sale for me. And I'm not going to be keeping this one. So that's my honest review of Deadly Desserts. I hope you enjoyed that little video, and this time not so positive. I've been quite positive in my first videos, but not this time. Negative. So not a good game. But yeah, 3 out of 10. I'm not keeping it. It's going away. That's the quick summary. Hope you enjoyed. Hope I'll see you next one. Until then.